Good evening, teachers. A very warm welcome to Gurushala training. Me, Akriti, and my co-host Yasmin wishes you a very good evening and welcome you today's training in today's Gurushala's two-day training. Before we move ahead, teachers, we would like to tell you about the training's theme a little bit. So, the training theme for this two-day training is empowering the learners through value-based experiential learning, where we will talk about experiential learning and value-based education. So let's move ahead, teachers, and talk about Gurushala a little bit and let's know what Gurushala is. So, Gurushala is an initiative of Indus Towers Limited, Vodafone Idea Foundation. Our content partner is Jigyasa, and this program is being implemented by Pratham Education Foundation. So, teachers, before we move ahead and we talk about more in the training, we would like to introduce you to AMO sir. So, I will request AMO sir to introduce you to our audience.
The
Hello.
voice is not.
Okay. Hello, teachers. I would like to introduce AMO sir. His name is A. Nagaraj Shekhar. He's the coordinator of Bhadradri Kothagudem. And sir, I would like you to share some encouragement words with our teachers for this training.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, Akriti and the co-host Yasmin. May I know number of teachers attending this training? Is it possible to know?
Yes, sir. So, sir, the training has just begun. So, more than 100 teachers have joined.
Okay, okay, okay. No, doubt. Remaining also will join because they may be on the way. May think. Everybody will join. Anyhow, it's a very good initiative from Gurushala to provide training to teachers on value based. Especially, it's a very important thing nowadays. Teachers, those who are teaching in the primary sections, especially because the character will be built at the primary section only. So, in primary section, value based education is very important. It plays a vital role because values cannot be taught to anybody. Values have to be implemented while teaching, and it should be embedded with the classroom teaching. This is very important thing. So I hope the training will be on this platform, I think so. So anyhow, DOs are also agreed to provide this training to all the teachers, and I must thankful to our DO sir, and also the Gurushala. Actually I don't know what is the Gurushala and what is the background of Gurushala, but the approach that you have made with us for for providing the training, it's very nice, and so that only we can encourage the teachers to encourage the teachers to participate in the training, and also I hope the future endeavors also will come with us, and we shall go forward, and we shall travel together on the empowerment of teachers. So I request all the teachers to utilize this training and note down whatever they deliver to you and what are the inputs given by the Gurushala. And if I think every input is useful for you, and every input can be implemented in the classroom, so that you can try to implement everything in the classroom. The ultimate aim of our teaching or training or everything, whatever we can get as inputs, the ultimate aim is only to provide quality education to the children and to build the quality citizens of India. This is very important thing to understand, all of you. And I request all the teachers of Bhadradri Kothagudem, those who are attending this training, have to utilize this training and try to implement them in the classroom. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your encouraging words for our teachers. So, teachers, now let's move ahead and begin with our training. Now let's talk about Gurushala. As Sir also mentioned that Gurushala is a digital program. So I'll again tell you that this initiative is by Indus Towers Limited, Vodafone Idea Foundation. Our content partner is Jigyasa, and this program is being implemented by Pratham Education Foundation. Now, before we move ahead in the training, and there are few things that we need to keep in mind. And now let's talk about Yasmin. What all things that we have to keep in mind?
Thank you, Akriti. So, once again, a very good evening to all the teachers who are joining with us in today's Kurushala training. So, Akriti, thanks to AMO sir once again for their valuable speech that encouraged all the teachers and also motivate us in today's training as well. So, as Akriti told us about the training theme, that is empowering the learners through value based experiential learning. So, if we divide this topic in two words, so we can see the first word is value based learning, and here another word is experiential learning. So these two words are most important for our student. They should know what is the importance of values in their surrounding and how to integrate value in our learning process also. So, Akriti, let's go forward now and we can discuss some pointers that can keep in mind while attending this 2 days training session with us. So, teachers, here we will share some pointers with you. So, our first point is please take a notepad and pen with you so that we can make notes, and if possible you can write some questions and some thoughts on it, and you can share with us on the comment section. Our second point is type your questions, answer and ideas in the comment section in English or Hindi language. So if you have joined this session with laptop or desktop, you will see the comment section at the right side, and if you have joined the session from your mobile, so you will see the comment section below the video. So teacher, I would request to all of you to share your thoughts and share your ideas in the comment section in English or Hindi language. So our next point is sign up on Gurushala for regular updates on training, workshop, competitions, webinar. So teacher, as you have joined our today's training, you can also join our regular trainings also, and some webinars also, and we also conduct some skill up session, some capsule session. So you can join this session and you can build your capacity and your knowledge as well. So let's move ahead and let's discuss our last but not the least point, that is certificate of participation. So teachers, when you will finish your 2 days training, you will receive a Google form and you have to fill that form and you will receive the certificate in your mentioned email ID. So you will receive that Google form in tomorrow's training. Okay, so now we can go forward in the training and let's discuss about our training agenda. So Akriti, I would request you to please tell us about training agenda.
Yes. So, like teachers, Yasmin told us some pointers to keep in mind. So now let's move ahead and talk about the training agenda for today's day one of the training. So as you can see on your screen, so as the theme also suggests that we will be talking about the value-based education. So first of all, we'll understand what is value-based education. What does NEP, यानी कि National Education Policy 2020, what does it talk about value-based education? Then we'll talk about integration of value-based education in classroom, and then we will also explore Gurushala's content library, and we will see what all resources you can use, what all online digital resources that you can use for your classrooms, or you can share it with your students. And then we will talk about an important skill that we need to develop as an educator, which is a communication skill, and we will also discuss what is its role in the classrooms as an educator and as a student, how you can communicate and how can you create a better learning environment in your classrooms. And then we will talk about some activities strategies that can be used in the classrooms. And in the end of today's training, we will talk about the task of the day. We will give you a task which you have to complete by tonight. So now, Yasmin, let's move ahead and then let's talk about some activities that will be playing during this training. So I would request both the all the teachers that there will be two activities. One will be guess the answer and another will be solve the riddles. So all you have to do is let us know your answers through your comments, and let us know in Hindi or English, whatever you're comfortable with. And there is a time limit, so I would request that you participate in this activities timely. So now let's move ahead and see what is the first activity that we have. So Yasmin, I would like you to tell our teachers what is the activity for today.
Yeah. So, Akriti, as you have said that we have two activities in today's training session. So, it's time to our first activity, that is solve the riddle. So, teachers, here is the activity for you. We have three riddles here, and you have to answer these riddles in 1 minute time. So, I request you. Before starting the timer, I would like to read the riddles. After that, we can start the timer. Okay. So, riddle one is, what word is the English language is always spelled incorrectly? Riddle 2 is, what two things can you never eat for breakfast? And our third riddle is, two in a corner, one in a room, zero in a house, but one in a shelter. What am I? So here we can start see these three riddles, and Akriti, I would request you to please start the timer also. So teachers, you have only 1 minute, and please share your answer with us in the comment section.
Yes, Yasmin. So, teachers, I would urge you to share your answers with us, and I will repeat the riddles one more time. What word in the English language is always spelled incorrectly? Can you tell us, teachers? If you know the answer, you have to reply in the comment section. The riddle 2 says, what two things can never eat for the breakfast? And riddle 3 is, two in a corner, one in a room, zero in a house, but one in a shelter. What am I? So, Yasmin, do you think we should wait a little more for our teachers to answer and share in the chat section? Let's wait ahead, and teachers, only 10 seconds are left. So, we request that you quickly share the answers with us. Yes. So, Yasmin, we can see many of the teachers have started replying. So, B. Kavita ma'am is saying that the answer is, oh, okay, the timer is also up. So we can see B. Kavita ma'am is saying first the answer of the first riddle is incorrect. Then Shirisha Kunja is saying wrong. And then let's see what all others have replied to the other riddles. Um, yeah. So for riddle 2, Sunil sir is saying language and pizza basket. And one more teacher has said plate for second riddle. So any answers for the third riddle, teachers? I cannot see any. Okay. So Chinni Ali ma'am is saying the answer is third one answer is R. Okay. So I think Yasmin, we can move ahead and we can see the answers for the third riddle, for the all the riddles for this activity. So let's move ahead and see.
Right. So here we can see the answers are coming continuously, and most of teachers are sharing first answer of riddle is incorrect. So teachers, here we can see the answers also. So for our first riddle answer is incorrectly, and for riddle 2 is lunch and dinner, and for riddle 3 is the letter R. So congratulations to all the teachers who have given the correct answer. And now we can move ahead and discuss about the value-based learning. So Akriti, we can go forward now, and now we can discuss about value-based learning and what does NEP says about it.
Yes, Yasmin. So before we move ahead, I would like to ask teachers. So I would request you to share your answers with us in the chat section. That what do you understand by values? So do let us know what is your understanding of values in the chat section, so that we can also have a discussion around that also. Okay, so now let's move ahead and let us know what does NEP 2020 says about value based education. So, as you can see on your screen, there are some values that we talk about in school education, and NEP 2020 highlights some of the uh, vital points that we are going to cover here. So, first point is to provide value based education. The reason why we need to provide value based education is to inculcate the word peace. So, it is very important that we teach students values in the classroom so that they understand the term peace, and from that they can understand what is the meaning of moral, spiritual, psychological, cultural values in students. To instill these values, we need to we need to teach value based education in the classroom. So we can include in our curriculums, we can play some activities around it, use some strategies. So that is why we need to do it. And the NAP also says that value based education should be done to develop a community with humanity approach along with scientific view, with pure intention of a growth of country and world toward betterment. It means that we need to provide value based education so that students get instilled with the value of humanity. They understand what is their individual social responsibility, and also as a responsibility of them as a citizen of this country. They need to understand the terms like human rights, sustainability, and also a scientific touch as well. So they should be able to rationalize things, not only think of things in a emotional way, but they should also question why. So that is where the scientific view is also important, and all of this should lead to the betterment of this country. Now let's move ahead and discuss the third point, which is useful. Value based education is useful to identify ethics related to activities involved, which will be related to implementation of education for critical thinking. So, like I said, it is important because so that students get an understanding of what is ethical, what is moral, and that is how they are going to critically analyze things, and they will understand why it is important for them to rationalize things and get an understanding of things, or different concepts from different lenses. That is why it is important to include value based education in classroom. And another point is to provide value based education so that they can develop so to develop value based education in the classrooms, we need to share e-content materials, create lesson plans which can taught values in the classroom. So NEP says that we need to create some digital content or digital lesson plans according to around value based educations, which we can use in the classrooms, and we so that students can effectively develop those values. So it is very important that we talk about value based education and all the and we include it in our curriculum or syllabus of the classrooms. Next point is to implement ways in which education will motivate the acceptance of social values such as tolerance, spirit of cooperation, and teamwork. So, like I said, if they learn about different values, different cultures, they will be able to socialize with people. They'll get an understanding of what is happening around themselves and happening in different religions, in the global what is happening globally, what is happening, what all trends are going on. Help student in working collaboratively and also in a team. So that these are some points that were highlighted in NEP 2020 about value based education. Now let's move ahead, and I would request Yasmin to tell us what is value based education. And before we move ahead, Yasmin, I would I would ask you to ask teachers what was their understanding, if they have shared anything with us in the comments.
Yeah, so here we can see the comment section. So teachers, please share your thoughts on value-based learning. As we can see, nothing is, yeah. So Lisa Chala ma'am has said, value is the sense value are individual beliefs that motivate people to act one way or another. Right, ma'am? Very rightly said. So now we can say that value based education, what is value based education and how can we see or how parents are seeing this? So, value-based learning has transformed many schools worldwide by giving learners access of to ethical vocabulary based on human values such as respect, justice, as Akriti said, like trust and honesty. If we talk about parents' point of view, they are also looking at all around development for their children, for the essential growth. And value based education is a part that it is a part of the growth also. So we have divided it into three parts, and we can discuss this one by one. So first is an approach to teaching that works with values. Value based education is a teaching, if we can see, it is a teaching framework in which value are taught both in classroom and through the textbook also, and also outside in our class with some live examples. And also it creates a strong learning environment that enhance academic achievement in the students. So value based education provide a successful environment for not only teaching but also learning the full range of academic, social, and our interpersonal skills also. It helps student to understand the perspective of life in a better way, right? And it is also lead a successful life as a responsible citizen. So if we talk about our third point, that is develop students social and relationship skills that last throughout their lives. So students are also more they have more responsibilities for their own learning. By If we talk about in classroom, how they behave by asking questions frequently and work together, or work together more cooperatively, yeah, work in groups. So students put more effort in their school homeworks and take more pride in their efforts. So we can develop children into people with strong character, and we have to put some values who know how to utilize their knowledge and for the advantage. So, value based education is also essential for the holistic development of a child. So, if we talk about our student, they are our future citizen, right? So, value education develop not only a well balanced individual with a strong character, it is also make them a socially acceptable individually personality. One of famous personality, Akriti, they have said that education is the most powerful weapon through which you can change the world, right? So if we can talk about education here, it is not only academic language or academic education, it is also about moral values in education, right? So we can see these pointers that we have, we can integrate these things in our students as well, right? So now we can move ahead, Smruti, sorry, Akriti, and now we will discuss about some value based education. What does value based education talk about? Right. So first is human values. So what are human values? To bring out the inherent values in the children and to guide them to practice these values in their daily life, to help teachers, parents and children to refocus on these basic positive values. And it is also as help them in all the aspects of moral society. If we talk about some examples of human values, what are some example of human values are? So it is truth, honesty, that we can develop in our students, loyalty, peace, tradition. We can teach them about our tradition, our religious and non-violence things. We can teach about them how to respect others, acceptance, appreciation. So these things can be developed in the student. They bring out the fundamental goodness of human being and society at large. And here we can discuss our second value is that is constitutional value. So what are the constitutional value, like human dignity, equality, freedom. So if we talk about the vision of constitutional values, it is a good, so its vision is a good society that the country seek to become, right? So if we talk about some example here, so the examples are responsibility. How are we take how we take the responsibility in our society, how we can accountable from them, and what about what we are thinking about public welfare. So these things makes us to think about some constitutional values. So our next value is ethical values. What are ethical values? Ethical values provide the moral boundaries by which we lives and our lives and make decision and doing the right things. So all teaching is founded on ethics, whether it be the teacher student relationship or relationship with our work or with dignity, right? So if we can talk about the ethical values, how we are self disciplined, how we are honest from our work, how we are kindness, how we behave, right? So these are some ethical values that can be developed in our students through our teaching learning process. And next is righteous value. What is righteous value? Being righteous means being right, especially in moral ways, and we can also say religious people, right? So religious people is also a right, is it includes in righteous values. So we can say here who prays or who meditates, these terms are includes in the righteous value. So if we talk about here these four values, we can say that these uh, these values can be developed in our students as well through some activities, through some classroom strategies. So how can we do that? We will talk about this in in session. So Akriti, now let's move ahead, and now we can discuss some value based education, some techniques that can be implemented in the classroom on value based education.
Yes, Yasmin. So teachers, like we right now understood what all values does value-based education talks about. Now let's talk about how we can integrate those values in the classrooms. So like Yasmin said, now we'll discuss some techniques. And first technique is core value exercise. So in this core value exercise, teachers, all you have to do is share question prompts with students that will help them think deeply about their values and principles. This means that you have to question them, question things like whom do you admire, like it is mentioned in here, you have to question things like that will make them think a little bit. Those questions should be able uh, to make them think about things that is new to them. And for example, if we talk about this question, whom do you admire, and list down the three persons admirable qualities. So not only you have to tell which person do you admire the most, you have to also tell ki what all qualities do you like in that person. For example, if you tell them that share the so for example, if a student says that my the person whom I admire the most is my mother or my educator, so they have to list down the three most lovable or admirable qualities that they find in that person. So for example, if the person likes a student admires a teacher, he can say that he or she can state qualities like maybe the way she makes the chapter easy, or maybe the way she listens to me, she's doing the active listening, or maybe the way she provides me feedback and help me work harder. So these are some qualities. So these are some things that they might have to think a little bit. These are not on the top of their mind, but they might have to dig a deeper, and they might take little bit time, so do provide them that time. Next is, what could you change about yourself if you want to become a better person? So this is some so I would like to share experience also. Whenever someone asks me to talk about myself, I get a little confused, because I lost a lot of words, because this question is about me. So do I know myself? How much do I know myself? So we need to put questions like this to students, so that they can get a better understanding of themselves as well. So in this question, they have to tell us what all qualities do you like, and what are some qualities that you would like to change. I would not use the word dislike, because we are all different as a human being. Some qualities are likable, some are less likable. So what all those unlikable or less likable qualities do you have that you would like to change to become a better person? So it can be like being more punctual, or it can be not disturbing my fellow classmate or while the teacher is teaching, or maybe do some humanity work, maybe helping people, providing food to the needies, providing clothes to the needies. What all habits you would like to change? Or maybe first thing in the morning you would like to do a prayer, or remember your god. So what are some qualities you would like to include or inculcate in your daily routine? So these kind of some questions that we can add in the classroom, and we will discuss this further ahead. And as a teacher should follow up with student statements. So for example, if they say that I like this quality in the teacher or in my mother, so teacher should come up with some questions to help them think more deeply about their answers. For example, what makes these qualities worth admiring and worth following? So for example, if the student says that I really like my mother because she really listens to me. So uh, for example, the student says that they really like how my mother listens to me, and solves my problems. So what does it make? So you have to ask, further question them, follow up question to them, and ask them, is it worth admiring, and why do you think it is worth admiring and worth following? So this will help them in getting a deeper understanding about themselves as a human being, and why, what all qualities do they see in change that they want to change in themselves. So now let's move ahead and talk about the second technique. The second technique is incorporating values through curriculum. So as the word itself says, this technique already says that including values through curriculum, yani ki through syllabus we have to incorporate those values. So whenever you're teaching in your classroom or planning a lesson, you have to make sure that you're adding certain things that will help them, like in the so NAP 2020, like we were talking earlier about it, it also said that you have to include e-contents or digital contents in your curriculum or in your syllabus, so that students can develop a better understanding of values. They learn about cooperation, teamwork, and other things. So as a teacher, you have to do the same. You have to create a curriculum keeping in mind that they also get an understanding of values. So like here, if the first point mentions teacher being the content expert. So as we all know, teachers are teaching all the time, so they are the content expert. So they have to look for section that can portray certain values the best. So you have to find a maybe a link between some subjects. For example, if you teach EVS, you have to make sure that the students are getting a better understanding, and also they are learning by doing it, and also they are getting an learning some values. For example, if like I was saying, if you teach EVS, so maybe they can you can talk about switching off the fan. So this is also a value that you're telling them. If they will switch off that fan when they're not in the room, or not using the excess water and try to save the water, you're trying to help the future generation. You are saving yourself and from future generation from scarcity of the water. So these are some things you can include in your curriculum, and you can include some activities, or maybe you can some stories, some poems that can help them. Like in the second point, it mentions for language subjects, values can be taught through stories, poems, autobiographies, etc. So if you teach an English subject, You can definitely give them an autobiography or a novel to read, which will really help them, because autobiographies are, like we all know, that they are the life journey of some of the author or someone else. So students can get learning from there as well. So we can use some poems from stories. Like I remember when I was in primary school, we had a lot of poems in English literature. So we would get a lot of moral understanding from those. Like every story has a moral ending, right? So we get all the informations from that, and we learn a lot of new things. Now let's move ahead and talk about students can then can be asked to react to the material that they just read, to write about the values or make up their own poem. So now, like were talking earlier as well, when we tell them that this is the homework that I'm giving you, we have to question them. So like if I go back to the previous technique, core value exercise, here we added that we have to do a follow up question with them. So here also, once you have given them the homework, right, to read this or to narrate a poem or go read a story before you come to the class, they have to write what do they understand from that. First we need to understand what is their understanding, and then maybe you can add to that, because everybody has a different understanding of a subject. You might understand different things from save the water, or maybe save the tiger, or save the environment, or climate change, or global warming. So the student might have a different understanding. So you have to keep questioning them and give them time to share what is their understanding, and then as an educator you can add on to it. No, so Yasmin, now let's move ahead, and I would request you to tell us what is the third technique, which is the developing values through games.
Yes, so our third technique is developing values through games. So here we can see some steps teachers. So first step is give student a puzzle to solve and ask them to solve in it in 2 rounds. For first time individually and second time with the team. If they work as a team, they must split the prize. So here is the condition: if they work in a team, they have to split their prize, and if they work individually, they can keep the prize themselves. And next is puzzle must be completed in 5 minutes. So here from this game, what student can learn, that student will see that by deciding to share the prize and work together, they are much more likely to gain some of the rewards instead of none at all. So yeah, if we can see here some some strategies that can be done by a student. So what is the objective here for this activity? So it is helping students helping student embrace each other's values, and help student develop more healthy relationship, and also help student navigate diverse emotion at a time. So from this technique we can make them feel about different emotions, like distribution of the prize, or caring for each others. uh, do not be a selfish person who take the prize alone instead of dividing it with others. We always see that sharing is caring, right? So here we can see that if you are work in a team, you can share the prizes also. So here we can teach some these kind of values to the students, where he can here we can see these kind of values that can be developed. So we can organize these types of games to develop some values, some different types of values in the students. So now, Akriti, we can go forward and we can discuss about how to integrate value-based education within classroom with some content, and how can we schedule and follow up with them.
Definitely. So, Yasmin, before we move ahead, now we will talk about some ways we can integrate it. First is, like we spoke about some techniques. Now we will talk about some ways you can do it. So, first is content. Through content. Sorry. So like earlier, NEP also said that e-content should be included. So now we will show you some. We will move ahead in the training, and we will be showing you how you can explore Gurushala and use those e-content for your classrooms. Like it also is mentioned here that through what content can. So as a teacher, you always question, right? Through what content can I help my students enhance their values? So we'll move ahead now, and we will be seeing some content on Gurushala. And before we move ahead, there is also second part to it, scheduling and follow up. So it talks about what, where, and how I can ensure that my students are implementing the strategies discussed. So we will talk about a classroom scenario, which we'll be discussing post when we will discuss the content part. So now let's move ahead. So now we will talk about some content strategies content sorry We'll be talking about some resources that can be you can view and you can utilize for your classrooms from Gurushala. So I would request Yasmin to share your screen and share it with our teachers and show us what all things are available at Gurushala website and application that we have on Play Store, and how as a teacher, as an educator, our teachers can use it for their classrooms, and especially for value instilling values in their classrooms in the students, and also to have a discussion around using the classroom strategies and some help they can get from the Gurushala content library. Yes, and meanwhile, teachers, if you have any questions, we would request you to share those questions with us in the comment section. Now we will be showing you all a Gurushala. We will tell you some steps you have to follow and how you can utilize it effectively for your classrooms. Before we move ahead, I would again request you to share the questions with us in the chat. If you have any doubts, we will address it.
Yeah. So now we can see the Gurushala platform here. Agati, I just want to confirm once my screen is visible or not. Yeah. So, teachers, as you can see, this is the Gurushala platform. I am logging out my ID so that we can see the login process once again. So, this is the home page of the Gurushala platform. You can use Gurushala application also. You can go to the Gurushala.
Uh, Yasmin, I would request you
Yeah,
to zoom your screen a little bit so that we can view it a little better.
sure, Akriti. Yeah. So now we can see the Gurushala home page. So teachers, here you can see the sign in sign up option. I also want to tell you that the Gurushala platform is in two languages. First is English and second is Hindi. If you want to change the language of the website, you can click on the in these buttons. And now we will see the sign up process. So to sign in on Gurushala, you have to click on sign in option, and here you can see the three method of logging in. So first is Facebook, second is Google, and third is with your mobile number. So teachers, you can simply log in on Gurushala with this method. I will log in with my Google ID. So I will click on Google and I will choose my ID. So here I am choosing my ID. Yeah. So now you can see that I have entered in the Gurushala platform by logging in. Yeah. So for going to the home page, we have to click on this logo or this button, this home page button. So teachers, here you can see some banners that tell you about the regular updates on Gurushala, and here you can see some sections like course module, content library. In course module, you will get some course modules that is self-paced and interactive. All the course modules are free of cost, and you can enroll yourself and complete the course. Here we can see the content library that we will explore in detail. So if we talk about our third option, that is Gurushala Academy. So this is the option where student can join and take the online classes, online live classes. So teachers are here for giving the live classes to the students. Our next section is quiz for student, where you can find ready-made quizzes on different subject and classes. You can share these quizzes with your students. They can attempt these quizzes and get to the answers. Also here online training section, as you have joined our training session, you can also see this session after today's. So you can also see all the previous sessions, like webinar, capsule and skill up sessions here. And next is staff room section, where you can connect and discuss the with the all around teachers all over India. Right. So, teachers, you can explore this section. You can see some section at the left side also. So now we will go to the content library section, and let's see how the resources can be find out from here, and how can we use it from our class and for our subjects. So teachers, this is the content library section on Gurushala. Here you can see some content pieces on different subjects, on different classes. You can see on the left side there is a filter. So you can see different types of filters here. So if we talk about the filters, you can see the subject filter. We have the content in 30
Jasmine,
30.
I would like to request
Yeah.
you to zoom your screen and show us the filters that we have and the content. A lot of teachers are requesting it in the comment section.
Okay, sure, Akriti. I am zooming my screen. Okay, so yeah, so here we can see the filters option, Akriti. Is my screen is visible now? Okay, so here we can see the subject filter. We have the content in 30 plus subjects on different subjects. It includes non-academic subjects also. So you can choose any of subject from here. And here you can see the class filter also. So we have the content in from first to class 12. So you can explore the content from first class to 12th class. Next is content type. There are some different types of content, so you can choose any of them. Next is language. So there are many languages. You can choose your preferable language, and you can watch the content from that language. So if we talk about Telangana, so we know that most of teachers and most of audience have know the Telugu language, and they prefer Telugu. So we can choose the Telugu filter, and you can see the content in Telugu language. Right. So now we can see the duration filter here. Media type is also here, and the partner filter. So some partners are here that provide us content in Telugu language. So you can choose that partners filter, and you can explore their content. So these are the filters here, and also we can see the search bar. So you can choose the content from search bar also. If you want to watch a video on fraction, then you have to simply type fraction, and you can see the fraction content here. So, Akti, I just want to play one of the content. So let's play a Telugu video here. So suppose I am teaching geography. So I am filtering geography here, right? And now I want to see the video in Telugu language, then I will choose Telugu. Here I can see one video is there on continent and ocean of the world. So I will play this video, and teachers, for playing the video you have to click on the resource, and now you will click on the view resource option. Yeah, so let's watch this video.
ఈరోజు వీడియోలో మనం ఓషన్స్ అండ్ కాంటినెంట్స్ గురించి నేర్చుకుందాం. ఇక్కడ మనకు కనిపిస్తుంది అర్త్ సర్ఫేస్. మనం ఎక్కడున్నాం, ఏ ప్లానెట్ పైన ఉన్నాం? అర్త్ పైన ఉన్నాం. అర్త్ పైన మనకి ఎక్కువ పర్సెంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్, తక్కువ పర్సెంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ ల్యాండ్ ఉంటుంది. ఇక్కడ మనకి బ్లూ కలర్లో కనిపిస్తుంది కదా, ఇదంతా అర్త్ పైన ఉన్న వాటర్ అన్నమాట. గ్రీన్ కలర్లో కనిపిస్తుంది కదా, అదంతా ల్యాండ్. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ మీరు బాగా అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ల్యాండ్ అనేది ఒకే చోట లేదు, ఒకేలాగా లేదు, డిఫరెంట్గా ఉంది. సో ఈ డిఫరెంట్ ల్యాండ్ మాసెస్ని మనం కాంటినెంట్స్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ఓకేనా, డిఫరెంట్ ల్యాండ్ మాసెస్ని మనం కాంటినెంట్స్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ఇప్పుడు మనం కాంటినెంట్స్ గురించి నేర్చుకుందాం. అర్త్ పైన మనకి ఎన్ని కాంటినెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి తెలుసా? వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ 7 కాంటినెంట్స్ ఇన్ అవర్ అర్త్. మనకి 7 కాంటినెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి అర్త్ పైన. ఇప్పుడు మనం కాంటినెంట్స్ యొక్క నేమ్స్ ఏంటో చూద్దాం. బట్ 7 నేమ్స్. ఇది నార్త్ అమెరికా, నెక్స్ట్ ఇది సౌత్ అమెరికా, యూరప్, ఆఫ్రికా, ఏషియా, ఆస్ట్రేలియా అండ్ అంటార్కిటికా. ఇవి మన అర్త్ పైన ఉన్న 7.
Right. So teachers, as you have seen this video in Telugu language, you can use these filters and choose your preferred language, preferred class, preferred subject, and watch the videos from here. You can share these videos with your students also. You have to just open the resource, and you can click on share button, and you will find the link here. You have to click on copy button, and then you can share on your with students on WhatsApp, on Facebook, wherever you want to share this. So now we can move forward, Akriti. Here we have seen the content library section. So teachers, you can explore the Gurushala platform, and you can explore this section like content library, course module, and we will explain some of sections also in this today's training.
Okay, Yasmin, before we move ahead in the training, I would also like to request teachers, if you have any questions, do let us know in the comment section regarding the content library that we have on Gurushala, so that we can address it right away. Otherwise, we will move ahead in the training. So we will wait few seconds for you to let us know in the comments. Do let us know if you would like, if you have any questions, then we can address those questions. So Sarisha ma'am, if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, let's move ahead. As Yasmin also told us that we have a lot of other things available. We have course modules, content library, quiz for students, and academy, and many other things. So we will discuss those next in our day two training. So we will let's move ahead since there are no questions, Yasmin. So now we will go to our training, and we will now talk about the Gurushalas. Since we have spoken about the Gurushala's content library, we will now discuss the scheduling and follow up. So, this talks about some tips on understanding the right time and environment to teach values to the students. So as we can see on our screen, teachers. So as we can see on our screen, I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so as we can see on our screen, it talks about when, where, and how. So this includes few things, teachers. First step is include a 40 minutes class every day in the timetable, preferably the first period, to instill values in the classrooms. So first, so we all have a timetable set. So what we can do is, when we are scheduling or we are creating a new timetable, we can include a 40-minute class where we talk about values. We can talk about, we can share it, we can dedicate a time in a day. It can be in the morning or it can be in the evening towards the end of the class, or maybe before the lunch or post lunch. We can create a time where we can talk about, learning from our daily life experiences. We can do some yoga, some meditation tips, and maybe some social emotional learning we can do. And we can let students know about some right, yes, or human values that they need to be aware of. Now let's move ahead and talk about the second point, which is technique of giving instruction to a student plays an important role. So it is very important. We should know that giving a instruction to student is very important. So the instruction that we are giving should be, should have an objective, should be in a, the tone of it should be clear, and should, the intent that you are with whatever intent you are, giving the instruction, should be clear to you and also to the students. And you should be clear about what all you are expecting from students. So whenever you're taking a class, whatever you're doing, your objective should be clear. If you're teaching a value, you should be aware about what value you're teaching, what language you will be teaching, whether it will be in Telugu or English or any other language. And what tone will you be, doing active listening, or will it be, you will ask them the questions, and then whatever what method you would like to apply in the classroom. And like I said, intent should also be clear, and what expectations you have from the students. So you should set a bar where you can, and you should know, you should expect something from students. So whatever, so expectation level should be set. Third point is, values are best fostered by examples, influence, imbibed by the observation. So, like it says, the values are imbibed, yani ki inculcated or instilled in students by observation or from the life experiences, or some, influence from influential people. So, generating funds for a social cause, home, environment, or interaction with peers and family. So, making them, do some activities that are socially connected. Maybe, they can have a, like, save trees. They can have a, they can conduct a pledge or advocacy, activities or campaigns they can conduct, and they can maybe, generate funds to save trees, and they can start their own initiative. Or maybe they can, start some, maybe donating clothes, donating food. All of these things can be done in the classrooms. Next, let's move ahead and talk about the fourth point, which is, apart from separate classes, values to be integrated in regular classrooms. For example, like I said in the first point, we need to create or carve out time for, values. So we need to dedicate a certain time. It may be 40 minutes or maybe a lesser time, but we need to carve out time for values. Apart from that, when you're taking a regular class, like you're teaching your own subject, you need to instill values. Then also you can conduct some activities during that time. Like we are teaching, maybe if you're teaching a math subject, if you're teaching maybe history subject, so you can, divide them in groups, do make them do collaboration work, which will, help them learn about the different values of different families, and different cultures, different religion. They will get to work in the team, and that will also develop their leadership qualities, and develop a sense of cooperation. So now let's move ahead. In this, there is an example that is mentioned, that discussion on democracy can be done, rights to current affairs and news. So it is very important that they stay updated with the current news that is happening, or current affairs, or they should have a basic understanding of they should have a general knowledge about things that are going around in the world or in India. They at least also in their district or in their own state. That is so important for them. It is important for them, their future, and as well as the competitive exams that they'll be paying. And also, as a human being, it is very important that they stay updated. So we need to have discussions, and we need to, maybe have a conversation around constitution, some laws that are available for, maybe for education only. We can have a conversation around that. Now, fifth point is teaching to be done in classroom through various resources. So, like we said, many resources can be used in the classrooms. We do not have to just use a traditional method of the classroom like a lecture method. We can definitely add some different activities. We can maybe ask them to create their own stories, do some role plays, do some poem, some group activities can be done, some dramas, or some anecdotes can be given, or they can even do some slogans. So these are some activity ideas that you can do, and I would like to add one more example to this. So there's a thing called flipped classroom. So what you can do is you can ask them to prepare something before the class, and then you can have a discussion about that in the classroom, instead of earlier what what we continue to do is we do some discussion and then we give some homework. So you can do a quick homework. Pre homework can be given to the students, and they can come and have a discussion on that. Next is having a 15-minute thinking time before sleep. So encouraging students to reflect every day and on their experiences throughout the day, good moments, sad moments, things that they could improve, and proud moments. So when I was in school, we had this introspection diary that we used to maintain, where we would write. So it was a monthly thing, and a weekly thing. So we would just write down about what we have done, and what good things happened, what things I could do better, some sad things that happened. So that actually helps us reflecting what things have done, what learning that we did we have from in a particular day, in a week, or a month. So when we look back to that, we can also have a something to reflect on. So it is very important that we take out time of our time in our own daily routine before we go to sleep and start ahead for a new day. So now, teachers, we will move ahead and we'll talk about some teaching strategies or effective strategies. And I would request Yasmin to let us know what all those strategies are.
Yes, Akati. So going ahead, I just want to take the some question from the comment section. So one teacher has asked, Hasim Pasha SK sir has asked, can we download these videos? So sir, there are some videos that can be downloadable. So you can download these videos from the Gurushala content library. And the second question is from Sheikh Sondu Babu. SCRT syllabus is available in Gurushala. Yes, sir. We have content on SCRT and NCRT. You have to just search these content from the title or from the chapter name, from the content name, and you will find the result. And the next question is from Balu Bhukya. So, madam, please share PPT how to use this Kurushala platform. Please send one PPT in video. So, sir, you can watch our sessions, and also you can explore Gurushala website, and you can also download it from your mobile through Google Play Store. We have available. We have Gurushala application also on Google Play Store. You can download it and you can use it. And if you have any doubt, if you have any question, if you find any difficulty in using Gurushala, you can write us. You can contact us on info@gurushala.co. Yeah, so now we can move ahead, Akriti, and we will discuss about the value-based education here. So, some effective strategies are here. We can see that. So, first is curriculum. So if we talk about curriculum, teacher as a content expert, we can say that they have material. They can decide the material that can use for developing values. Teacher know what touches their students, right? We can take some concepts from our subject and from our classes. We can use our curriculum here effectively. For example, if we talk about standard first to fifth, We can take the concept of values like maintaining punctuality, cleanliness, orderliness may be made clear to student while teaching the subject of science. Like human body, we can teach human body to teach ordinarily less values. Similarly, good habits like doing exercising and playing on the playground regularly will be developed in the student. We can also use drama. Drama is a wonderful medium in or incorporate values. The teacher has to select those plays that have to do with these values. Students have to encourage to select their favorite song, and this would need to be done locally, like in their regional languages also. And if we have the availability of material, then we can provide drama also. And next is co-curricular activities. We can use some co-curricular activities also, like storytelling or debate or discussion, role play. So we can do these activities in our classroom, about collecting some older things, and that that we used to use uh, in our life, or we can conduct seminars, we can conduct workshops also, or we can conduct writing diaries competition, story writing competition, or we can also celebrate national festivals on different religions, right? So, and with that we can also do prayer and meditations. So if we can talk about these co-curricular activity, we can say that they will the skill the values that will be developed is love towards nature, responsibility, and also curiosity will be developed in the students, participation will be developed, and we can encourage also for communication skill, for self control, for equalities. So we can develop these skills by doing co-curricular activities in the students. And if we talk about activity is, that is value consciousness through stories. So we can also the teacher may either tell the story, or may they ask the students to develop the story, right? We can give them certain points, and through the interaction with the story, the student can consider characters, action, perspective, and motives to make judgment about them. So after for this activity, we can s- what we can do is we can ask some question, like what is the purpose of the story, what was the theme or moral perspective, etc., and what choices did the character have, right? So we can ask this question to the student. We can also generate some question, like if you what did you do if you will be there, or what you do the same things again, will you do the same things again, right? So we can ask some questions. And our next strategies is game. So through the games, from the various type of curricular games, uh, we can also conduct some housey games like brainstormings and discussion. If we talk about housey game, as we know this as a bingo game also, bingo or tambola game. So we can conduct these types of games for teaching values to the student. We can make a slip of with 25 values, and we can share with around the class. And we can after completing this activity, we can generate a group discussion amongst the teacher. We can divide the students in 10 to 12 students group, and we can give we can ask them to uh, arrange your arrange your values by top priority to least priority, and we can say how the students are responding, right? So we can conduct this type of activities also. So these are the some effective strategies that can be implemented here. Right. So now let's move ahead, Akriti, and it's time to play an activity with our teachers. So I would request to please conduct this activity.
Yes, Yasmin. So teachers, get ready. This it's again time for our second activity, and its name is guess the answer. So we will share some question with you, and all you have to do is guess the answer and share it with us in your comment sections. You can type it in Hindi or English, whatever you're comfortable with, and there is a time limit. So it will be 1 second, 1 minute or 60 seconds. So we would request you to share your answers with us. So this is the question that we have on our screen as well. And the question is, what skill or skills do you think are most important as a teacher? So you have to let us know in the comment section that what are those skills that you think are most important or vital as an educator or for teachers that they need to learn. So we would request you to share those skills, whatever you think is important in the comment section, and you have only 40 seconds for the same. So I would request again that you quickly share your answers with us. I'll repeat it once again, Yasmin. The question is, so the activity name is guess the answer, and the question is, what skills do you think are most important as a teacher? So when you're teaching in your classroom, what skill as an educator you need to have? So we can see, Yasmin, when we are checking out our comment section. Kasim Pasha's SK sir is saying communicative. The teacher needs to be communicative. Then Paturi ma'am is saying critical thinking. Then Settipali, Alivelu Settipali is saying communication, and another teacher is saying listening. So a lot of teachers are also, answering, and a lot of them are saying communication, communication skill, good communications. So let's move ahead, teachers. And since the time is already up, now we will see what skill were we talking about. So the skill is, so before we state the skill, you will be able to guess the answer here only. So this fact is, according to a research, teachers equally require good communication skills as much as a subject knowledge for better learning outcome of students. So congratulations to all the teachers who have answered this. So the communication skill is the most important skills that we need to develop as an educator, as a teacher. So now we will move ahead, and I would request Yasmin to let us know what is a communication skill, and we will talk about this in detail.
Right. So as we can see here, communication skills is the ability to convey and share information to others in an effective way. So here we can see that teachers should be skilled in listening and understanding in thoughts of and ideas of their student. Also elaborating things clearly. Teachers need clarity in communication while talking to their students, or they should be able to they can also divide these things in simple steps so that they can communicate easily with the students. So Akriti, now we will talk about some types of communication. So here, teachers, you can see the types of communication. First is verbal communication, and here, if we talk about the second communication, that is non-verbal. So we will talk about verbal and non-verbal communication here. So verbal communication is skill is the ability of a both teacher and student to communicate something with orally and write by writing. Verbal communication includes short talks or discuss, sharing some informations and ideas. Verbal communication, if we talk about some more, we can say that communication, how it helped the two students. We can take such as we need to clear in explaining information to others. If anyone asks something, we need to give obvious explanation, help student to use the ideas in words, also help student to improve their skill, their communication skill. Also communication well with parents, either orally or written. So these are some examples that help us with the communication skill. If we talk about non verbal communication, it includes active listening also. Teachers should listen carefully to their students with great empathy, right? So teacher also have to hear the classmates, what are they saying, or in addition the body language also include in non-verbal communication. Here if we see some example of verbal and non-verbal communication is, so oral communication and written communication is a part of verbal communication. It includes lecture, discussion, oral test, feedback sessions. Feedback session is most important for students also. We have to provide, we can provide the feedback so that they can develop their learning, right? So if we talk about writing communication, that is notes, presentations, remarks, feedback in written. And if we talk about non-verbal communication, as we have said, listening or body language, our posture, our facial expressions, gesture, these are some types of non-verbal communication. Now Akriti, we can go forward and let's discuss about communication skills for a teacher, how communication skill help to the teacher in classroom.
Yes, Yasmin. So, teachers, now we learn, as we were talking about communication and what types of communication we have, now we will talk about some skills that are important as a teacher. So, it is very important when we are in a classroom, we are speaking, we are listening to students, that we are communicating to them, to be honest, and we are listening to them. We are actually all ears when they are talking. Then sharing information by reading or writing. We should be able to read what we are trying to teach to students, or something that is written. We should be able to write it down as well, and the other person should be able to understand it as well. Next is body language. So it is very important that we create a, portray a good body language. It is important that there is a so if we are very, if we are open to communication, our body language will be different. If we are not open to communication, our body language will be in a different way. So it is very important that we are, sitting properly and listening to students, taking this using the space efficiently around the classroom. So it is very important that that we sit properly, or maybe maintain the perfect body language. Next is sharing feedback with students. So like we were talking about earlier also, that creating a feedback mechanism in the classroom, it is very important. We should, so whatever we are communicating, we should also be able to understand that whether students or any other person that we are communicating with is able to understand what we are trying to communicate, or are they receiving what we are trying to send. Are we trying whatever information that we're trying to send it to them. So that is why a feedback mechanism should be there whenever we are having a conversation in the classrooms. Now we will talk about how can we develop communication skills in your classroom. So there are a few pointers, as you can see. So first, we will talk about creating a safe environment. What do you understand by safe environment? If you could let us know in the comment section also. I will explain it meanwhile you're sharing it. Creating a safe environment means making a space for students where they can easily share their feelings with you. So sometimes what happens, we just suppress students thoughts. So we should not do that. So if a student has some questions, we should let them ask those questions and not suppress those questions and say that we will address them later. But we should try to listen to them, whatever doubts or queries or curiosity that they have. We should address those. And what happens is, when we don't address them, or we try to not answer those questions, or we tell them that this is a stupid question, don't ask me this, student might not ask you the question again, or might not interact with you, or will be too scared. So we should be very careful when we are communicating with them. And what happens is, the other fellow students on your classrooms might not be able to ask you those questions. So it is very important as an educator, it is very important as an educator that we are maintaining that safe environment in the classroom. Next is utilizing the space effectively. So what happens when we are teaching, we tend to stand in the front of the class. When we are teaching, we are in the front of the class, and students are generally on the opposite side. So it is important that we so what you can do is, I will tell you this, what you can do is, you can make them sit maybe in a semicircle, or maybe you can make them sit in different forms, and you interact with them one on one. Or maybe you can move around the classroom and use the space, and interact with students, and see if they're having any difficulty in learning, and ask them, and interact with them one on one, or maybe in pairs, and see. And you should also try to monitor their movements and whatever they're doing. If they're doing something out of their subject, you should point it out, but in a politer way. Next is promoting active listening in the class. Like I said, creating a safer environment is also important, but also having doing promoting an active listening environment in the class is also very important. So when someone asks you questions, or some doubt that student has, we should not tell them that maybe like, I'll talk to you later about it or something. We should not just suddenly respond something to the question. We should listen, and we should try to empathize with the situation. Their empathy plays an important role, where we try to understand or sympathize with the student and its problem, and then try to just try to solve it, or maybe be empathetic to that problem, and help student go through that journey. Next, we will talk about encouraging teamwork. So like I said, we can divide them into, so when we are conducting classes, when conducting class, we can divide them into groups. And this what will this will do, dividing them into separate groups, it will help them do develop their leadership qualities, include it will build their teamwork, and they will get to develop a sense of cooperation as well. And they will get to learn from their fellow partners a lot. Sometimes what happens is, when we collaborate them with maybe a higher learner, someone who's able to understand things better with a duller student. Like, one teacher also asked this question, that how to interact with the duller students. So in that sense, what we can do is, we can when we are creating groups, we can make sure that a student who understands things easily, or is doing good in the class or in the subject, should be paired with a student who can help them. So you can give them a peer tutor sort of groups. All right. So this will help them in their learning levels as well. Next is establishing feedback mechanism, right? Like, if you're sending some information, you should also know that if that information is being sent to them. If you're teaching something, that's why we take tests. So that's the reason we are taking tests, to get an understanding of their learning levels, and whatever um, the grasping understanding of the student is, whatever you're teaching in the classroom. So now let's move ahead, and now we will talk about developing communication skills in teachers. So it has some steps that we're going to talk about, and I would request Yasmin, do let us know what all those steps are.
Right, Akriti. So here we will talk about some strategies, some things that will help teachers to develop communication skills. So first is learn Second is think, and third is practice. So how these things can help teachers to develop the communication skill in their class. So if we talk about learn, first of all, so we can see the learn to articulate your thoughts. How can we address positively and make our thoughts clear while delivering our thoughts to the students? Also understand your students, so we can talk to the students if we see any weird thing in the class or with any student. We have to take immediate action on it. We can understand their thoughts, their condition, and then we can react on it. Next is expand your vocabulary. So learn new words to describe your thoughts. We can use the words that make things clear to us and to the students. Make students comfortable with you so they can share their thoughts also. Next is learn to provide regular feedback. As we discussed earlier, most important is communication skill. Provide the feedback constantly to the students. Overall growth of a student depend on this, right? So how the student knows that it is right or wrong for them, are they going well or need to change anything? Your feedback is most important for the student in their growth. Right, so we have discussed about the learn. Now let's go forward and discuss about the think portion. So think of the word that should be used in a class. Also think and understand the psychological and cultural state of students. With that, think what method is better. So we can learn some methods, some new methods according to the student, how they can adapt the learning methods differently. So we can learn some different methods also. And now we will talk about the practice part. So practice active listening. So we can't take any judgment without listening or without understanding the student situation. We have to carefully listen to the student. After that we can take an action, right? And with this practice, keeping your message clear and considerate. Also keep learning new strategies. So these three things that can be we can develop in as a communication skill. So Akriti, now we can move ahead and let's discuss about the day one task with the teachers.
All right, teachers. So now we are towards the end of our day one training, and we have a small task for you to complete. And it's a very small task. All you have to do is, before we move ahead to the steps, I would request you to submit this task by 11 p.m. tonight. So the deadline is short, and I would request you to share it with us. So now let's move ahead. And we can see the first step is signing up on Gurushala app. So for that, you have to go to the Gurushala for to download Gurushala app. What you have to do is go to the Play Store, type Gurushala, and the Gurushala app will be there. And all you have to do is click on the install, and we will be sharing the link to download in your WhatsApp groups that you're part of. If you're not a part of a WhatsApp group, do let us know in the comments. We will share the link, or and we will also be sharing the downloading link of the application with you in the chat section here in the training. So do download the application from that link. In any case, if you're unable to find it, go to the Play Store and you will be able to download it. Then next step that we have in the training, that is, after you have done the sign up, you have to so you have to, like Yasmin also explained, that you have to create your ID. So sign up is called creating your ID. You have to create your ID, and after that ID is created, you have to take a screenshot of your profile from the application and share that screenshot of the application as shown in the on your screens. You have to take the screenshot of your profile and share it in the technology and innovation community in Gurushala. So you can do it through our website and also through the application, whatever is easy, and we will be sharing that in sharing the link with you in the comments. So what we will do is we'll quickly show you a demo of the same, and you can let us know if you have any doubts, and uh, we'll quickly show you now. So I would request Yasmin to show us the demo of the communities, and where they have to post this screenshot. We'll show it to the teachers now. Yasmin.
Right, Akriti. So, teachers, after installing the application through Google Play Store, you have to just go to the More option, and clicking on More, go to the View Profile option. Uh, from there, you will click the screenshot, and you will share the screenshot with us on Communities and Club section. So let's see where you have to share the screenshot with us. So community, this is the Communities and Club section. You will click on this section, and after that you will find the community from here. You can see here teacher and innovation community. You have to join the community first. If you haven't joined the community yet, you will see the join button here. I have already joined the community. That's why you can see the enter button here. So after joining the community, you will see the enter button. We will enter in the teacher technology and innovation community. Here you can click on create post option. After clicking on create post option, you can attach file from here. You can choose the file from your computer, from your mobile device, and you can share the name also, name and school name with us, so that we can also address you in tomorrow's training. After detailing this, you can click on done button. When you click on done, your screenshot will be uploaded here, and we can see the screenshot here. Right. So Akriti, we have explained the steps also.
Yes, Yasmin. So now, teachers, as we have explained you the steps as well, we have taken a demo. So now, if you have any doubts, so do it, let us know in the comments. And there was a question in the comments. So teachers are asking if they have already registered, then what we have to do. So what you have to do is take the screenshot of your profile that you have created. It should be a teacher profile, and you take a screenshot of it, share it in the community. That's all you have to do. Even if you have created a sign up, a lot of teachers are saying they have already completed the task. So you have, if you have created an ID, that does not mean that you have created the task. You have to share the profile link, profile screenshot with us in the community. So do let us know when it's done in your WhatsApp groups. And now we'll move ahead and go towards the end of the training. So at the end of this training, teachers, a Google form will be shared for the attendance form. All participants are requested to fill that attendance form with us for a certificate of participation. And also, teachers, this attendance form will be shared with you tomorrow towards the end of this training. So today is the day one. After the end of day two, towards the end, we will be sharing that. You have to just share it with us. And if you have not downloaded the Gurushala app, do download it. It is mentioned in the description also, and it is given to you in your WhatsApp groups, and also will be shared with you in the comment section. And do join us on our WhatsApp group. If you're not part of it, do ask for the WhatsApp group link in the comments. So thank you so much, teachers. And if you have any queries, any assistance that you need, you can always email us for that on info@gurushala.co. So thank you so much for being part of this training and being a lovely audience. Thank you so much, teachers. We will see you tomorrow at the same time, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Do join us.
Thank you, teachers. Stay connected